The balancing system. Yes, hello everybody. This is probably going to be the the fourth video I think I've done, or fourth video it's been mentioned in my catalogue. So if you don't know, on Friday of last week it was discussed. On Sunday we did a podcast devoted to it. On Monday, so yesterday, we talked about the kind of responses that Kabam have done to this particular subject. I wanted to bring everything all together and as well look at some other elements as well. So where do we all begin? Where do we all begin with this? Right, we had something that was out by Kabam. Look, here's the thing. Predominantly, people are against this particular idea that Kabam have put in. Various different people with various different reasons. If you like it, you like it. But here's the thing. I personally am not a fan of it. One of the main reasons is the pitch, the sell, how it's been advertised. It's not very good. In this particular section right here, it just doesn't feel like a lot of effort has been put to describe this adequately and accurately to the community at large. Now, I'm going to reference some stuff that Seaton put in his video because there was some great stuff that he mentioned, but I think it just comes down to like how Kabam plan to rate this stuff, which we've not been given any kind of like idea. I mean, look here, we'll be rating champions on a few different aspects of their ability and general strengths and weaknesses. What the hell's that meant to be? While we still hammer down the details, so I don't know how to kind of like present this. We're currently looking to implement ratings for damage, output, survivability, utility, and ease of use, which is a very kind of like, it's a narrow-minded way of kind of like examining and putting, for example, is terrible. If you don't know exactly how you're going to be presenting any kind of rating system, why are you bothering to do this right now? And all this stuff like saying, oh, this utility numbers, blah, 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 blah. And that's the thing. Like, are these based on opinions or are they based on data? If they're based on data and how that data is represented, we still don't really know. I mean, here's the thing. Like, loads of players, including myself, any content creator, anybody, right, is guessing what Kabam are trying to do as a system. And that's terrible. It should be a case that developers should know what they're doing before advertising to the community. That's the first point. But the second point is like looking at, right, okay, so this is the data going to be looking like this and how that data is, you know, read. Like here, defender details, Annihilus as a defender encountered, undefeated, defender win rate. So that is based on players' interactions with this. If that data is presented and that's how Kabam plan to test it, okay, that's good. But you got to give the players an idea of like what the heck is going on, because they literally have no idea. If you're not familiar with this particular thing that I'm reading off right now, this is data Kabam use in order to kind of like sort out champions. And I would say, like, you know, if Kabam pitched this to players and said, okay, well, this is how we plan to test it. Here's the areas we plan to test it in, and here's the areas and information we grab back. Not just a defense perspective, but an offense, then that gives you a good amount of data. But still, it needs more to it. And any new champion that comes into game should be rigorously tested against various different factors. You know, not even limited to the things that are on screen right now. Like with no mastery, with a standard mastery build, with suicide masteries, in Act 6 use, Act 7 variant use, Cavalier difficulty use, Alliance quest, Alliance Wars offensive, and Alliance Wars defense. Those are key areas, again, that we as players need to know that new champions, when they're brought in, are going to be tested against this stuff. Because that's where the problems really lie. But here's the main thing. Any new champion coming into the game should be pre-release worked on to find out that these areas are problematic. It shouldn't be up to anybody else bar Kabam to get a champion fixed with interaction prior to release, because it really puts a dampener in spending, especially looking at Icarus. Icarus was found very early on to have an issue, which it was to a degree dealt with. There was two issues, if I remember rightly. One issue was sorted out prior to release, and that was like, I don't know, I think it was like content creator found that they were kind of like doing lots of damage, but as well it kind of gave an idea of like, okay, well, this is being sold as a very high damage dealer. And then there was something upon release that Kabam couldn't get fixed. But here's the thing, don't release a champion that's broken if you know it's released. You can't focus on like making money and release schedules if something is broken, because it just plays into this rebalance problem that we've just had with this system being announced. You need to tackle this stuff before it goes live. So therefore, you don't look like you've got egg on your face because you haven't dealt with something that needs to be dealt with. And at the same time, people aren't spending money or, you know, ranking up champions to go, oh, in 6 months or in a month's time, they're going to be changed because they're overpowered because we couldn't deal with something prior to release. But I digress. Back to this whole kind of like rating system, and you know, we can talk about that stuff about pre-release versus, like, you know, Kabam need to deal with this stuff head on, but also the other element of how this rating system is better and would be better placed for players to not just kind of get an idea of like, okay, new champion could be broken, could be OP, we may need to avoid, but also like champions for the point of effectiveness, acquisition, usage, and all those amazing things. Now, I saw Seaton's video and I do agree it would be completely amazing to have something when it comes to better sorting of champions. For me, I'm a little bit different on it, but I do kind of like agree where he's coming from. Like sort of go like, okay, well, debuff shruggers or kind of immunities or power control, you can sort by hashtag features. But for me, I really kind of go by, and you know, again, don't like to mention the game, but Raid Shadow Legends. Anytime you click on a champion in Raid and you kind of like go to the index or click on the champion, you'll get helpful information about certain bits of content they're able to do. I mean, here's an example right here. Excuse me as I lose my voice. Where it goes like arena defense, arena attack, clan boss, ice golem, dragon, finite, spider, and faction wars. So all these different types of areas where a champion would be rated by players. I believe it's rated by players, or it's rated by the developer as to their effectiveness in the different types of areas. This means it gives an indication of like what is good for what particular place, the same way that something could be implemented in contest, where you would have something down here, like down at the bottom part of the of where the champion is, that you could click on something or have something there to kind of show like an effectiveness. Effective as a, well, you've got Medusa here, poison immune. And I know that people will say, oh, you've got it like down there the right side, so I should really kind of clarify. Okay, well, variant 1, 5, or variant 1 quest something or other, 5, or there has to be more of a drop down. That particular information, because the biggest problem that we'd have with any kind of rating system is lots of different interactions. And that's the problem. Interactions are and could be amplified by more than that. Like, I've just thought, like, whilst kind of preparing for this, if you're doing a rating system, what if synergies for champions mean that they're more effective with a different champion on the team, but that lead champion is now like a complete god because of it? How does that factor into the rating system? Because that will cause some sort of like imbalance, because you need to then say that that champion has to be rated within it, because it would now be more. There's so much variables, there's so many things that need to be considered with this. And again, it does go back to how this was pitched, how this was advertised, how this has been thought out, because it's just not one enough thought out that is getting players just so annoyed, because it just doesn't look like Kabam know what they're doing. The biggest telltale signs is success versus failure. I mean, look at this situation here. This was from like something the Kabam Mike responded to, saying that ratings are what is intended for these champions. If we find that they are not correct, we'll be tweaking the champions to match them. As I said with Dan on the podcast, track record is not particularly good. I mean, we look back, where is it? Where's that info they had? Like the Annihilus situation with the other champions. It's just like, it's crazy, because they just don't have a great track record with situations like this. The Annihilus situation, Invisible Woman situation, the Ebony Moore situation. There just seems to like this kind of weird fundamental thing about bringing back something that just didn't work, and I don't get like the reason for bringing it back. It's weird. I mean, thank God that it doesn't affect any like older champions, but the problem is, and I think this is the main point of the matter, is decision making. If you as a player want to make a decision on a champion that's just come into game, and let's face it, a lot of us, and especially if you are free to play, not just spenders, but if you're free to play or non-spending in the game for whatever reason, which I'm currently at the moment, you'll be saving your shards, right? And you get a very short window. I think it's like, well, they want to do their system within 6 months, but champion featured crystals, I think, revolve around like a 3-month kind of period. If for whatever reason you're saving up, and like say we're all saving up for Quicksilver, like I've just posted a video yesterday about this. If you're saving up for Quicksilver, right, and he turns out to be completely OP, and you're like, great, I'm going to rank up this champion, first ever rank 4, first ever rank 5, and then it's like, okay, they're going to take him down a notch, and you're there with this kind of like husk of a former champion, because that again, it boils down to faith and trust in Kabam to release a champion and then tweak the champion to a standard that they see fit. You're going to be stuck with a champion ranked up, and it may take you ages to get those particular resources back or to the same type of value. And this is a point in time where if Kabam plan to do that and kind of like eliminate the idea of free choice, yes, we're free to rank up champions, but also the free choice, which you now kind of like wasted your materials for that free choice for a new champion, you are then having to go, where's my rank down tickets then? I ranked up this champion under the expectations of what I saw and what I played with, and now it's all changing. Look, and I know there's going to be people out there that will just say, well, Rich, other games, you know, they tweak things all the time. Yeah, but it doesn't take an absolute year in order to get the materials you need to rank up said champion or kind of improve whatever you need to improve. I mean, look at things like Call of Duty. And you can blast through getting one gun leveled up to the max in Call of Duty, and then it's, you know, it's nerfed. It's not ridiculously nerfed, but still, you're like, well, thank God that didn't cost me any. Oh, it cost me my time. What, 1 day? Marvel Contest of Champions. Got to rank 4. Got completely the rank 4 materials to rank for a champion. Yeah. How long did it take you? Over a year. So you got to wait another year to rank up another 6-star to rank 4. It's just that's the case. Like, let's just kind of not beat around the bush here. It's all about the free choice of a new champion being taken away if the tweak is not particularly to the liking, you know. And it's just like that's the sucky side of things. I understand, as you know, Kabam want to make content, and this may be something that's causing an issue to make content against. What has been the problem with Act 7 content? Nothing. It's been fine. What's been the problem with a lot of other content? Grandmaster Gauntlet, fine. I mean, I don't really see any kind of problem with any of the content Kabam have made in the last 12 months. Apart from the controls issue that we had, that's been affecting stuff. But apart from that, it's like it's been okay-ish. Summer of Pain was good. Players liked it. I love Grandmaster Gauntlet. That was amazing. Amazing bit of content. I'm just now loving Act 7.2, which I didn't think I went back into. I was a bit unsure about. But then, like, the more I've kind of got into it, and the more I've got the champions at last to deal with it in a way that I see fit, then I actually like it. But, you know, that's the thing. Sometimes this is not going to be... I understand with Kabam, but I just don't feel this situation and this particular idea has been pitched and advertised to players in a way they can get around with. And that's just kind of like my thoughts on the matter. I just hope they come up with a better idea. Maybe kind of like, I would say to Kabam, have a look at other games. Have a look at other games and how they choose like their systems of balance. But the main thing is deal with champions before they go into the game. And if you have to, you know, suppress the release or kind of like hold back the release of a champion for, I don't know, a week to 2 weeks, then do it. Like, I'm not going to rush around to kind of like, oh, great, Sauron, I'm really going to go for that. No, delay it a week. Just do some testing. Put it out when it's ready, when it's done, when it's fully tested against different areas. Every kind of like issue has been found out. If you've got a new team, get them to do that rather than the rating system. And deal with some old champions. That's the main thing. Buff some old champions and have a look where they are. But yeah, everyone's thoughts, put it in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching this video. And we're going to get on some positive content now until Kabam properly respond to this. But yeah, sweet old times. Cheers, everybody. And check out some other content located on screen right now. And I'll see you in the next video, whenever that will be. Cheers. Bye-bye.